Fit and Ten Nation, it is day 19, the last day of the teens. As I mentioned yesterday, we're over a quarter now into the challenge, and things are just going to speed up more and more, of course, as we get closer to the end. That's the way time seems to work. As we get closer to the end, things speed up. And it's a reminder to you to, you got to make sure that you give it everything you got every single day, and that's what it's about. Essentially, it's about doing all these reasonable things consistently. It's not about doing extreme things for a short period of time. It's about lifestyle. Okay, so remember that. The only way, it's like anything. Okay, it's like if you run a business, you cannot run that business really hard for a short period of time and then relax. You have to just do the tasks that keep the business successful on a regular basis for the entire survival of the business, right? It's the same thing as this, all right? And we'll get to that with the message of the day. Okay, exercise and tightness. Some people write me and they say, I'm whatever, they can't lunge all the way down because they're feeling super tight. And so, this is basically just a message to say that's okay. That may very well be the case. I understand tightness, believe me, okay? But if you train your exercises through full range of motion, you will increase your flexibility. All right, so if you are doing resistance-based movements through full range of motion, or let's just say the greater range of motion that you do, the greater flexibility you will build in that range of motion. Okay, so it's a fallacy to think that weight training makes you tight. Yes, weight training can make you tight. It can if you train through limited range of motion. Okay, but if you train through full range of motion, you won't be tight. So just coming back to, for example, the lunges, my suggestion would be to come down to a point that you can comfortably while getting a stretch. I know a lot of people say they feel tightness in the opposite leg. That's the leg that's behind them. They'll feel some tightness in the front hip of that leg that's behind. This is totally normal because it's an active stretch for the front of your hip on that opposite leg. So my suggestion would be to take advantage of that. So every step that you do, whatever leg is behind you, just try to engage your bum. So squeeze your bum, squeeze your glute on that one side, and try to activate that glute, and that will help to initiate even more of a stretch, okay? And then through time, you'll be able to get lower and lower, okay? It's a great dynamic stretch. And there's a whole host of other exercises that this applies to, okay? But let's just keep it to that for now, okay? If you have questions about that, further questions, let me know, all right? But just remember, go through as much range of motion as possible. If you're limited, just keep trying, and through time, you'll open up that range of motion, okay? All right, this is a major question that I get every challenge, and it's the question of dietary cholesterol. Is this a concern, or should I be concerned, or should I stay away from foods that are, known to be high in cholesterol? Well, if we go by, the general narrative or rhetoric that's out there, that's been out there for years, yes, we are supposed to. But there's more and more people who are doing research in this area. Okay, so we're talking about doctors who are doing research, not medical doctors, but research. People are researching cholesterol, and there are more and more people coming out and saying, we don't really know if actually this is the case, okay? Now let's be specific here. When we talk about cholesterol, there is cholesterol, okay? Something that is the underlying foundational component for many of our sex hormones, for the membrane, or forms part of the membrane of every cell in our body, and that plays a very important role, by the way, because the cell membrane lets things in and out of the cell. And we've got, I don't even know how many, but we've got a lot of cells. definitely in the billions for sure. I'm not sure if anybody exactly knows, but it plays a very important role in the body. There's many other roles it plays. So there's that aspect, there's cholesterol, and then there's your cholesterol carriers, right? So there's your for simplicity's sake, there's your high density lipoproteins, and then there's your low density lipoproteins. So your HDL and your LDL, you may have heard that before, okay? This is usually what people are referring to when they talk about cholesterol. So these are the proteins that carry cholesterol around your body. But here's really the thing. If your diet is low in cholesterol, your liver will just synthesize more cholesterol. If you are high in cholesterol, your liver will synthesize less cholesterol. So the body typically has a happy medium for cholesterol. Now, there are people out there who have high cholesterol. Is this an issue? Well, supposedly it is. And I say supposedly because there isn't any cause and effect data. There is no mechanistic data to show that it actually is anything of all. It's just a theory, okay? Now, it's not to say the theory's wrong, but we don't know for sure. And what a lot of people are saying is that it may not be anything, because there are people who, you know, quote, eat well, exercise, they don't have a high cholesterol diet, okay? And we see still high cholesterol levels, all right? So this is something that tends to be, at least in a small percentage of the population, something that is genetic. And if it's genetic, it may not mean anything, okay? It may not mean anything at all, because the idea here is that the idea is if you have a high cholesterol diet, you raise your LDLs basically play a part in the hardening of the arteries, or they build up in the walls of your arteries, and this makes your arteries less elastic. It also closes the amount of area where blood can flow through, and this poses a problem over time, okay? That may be true. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying that we don't know that for sure, okay? And there's more evidence to come out to suggest that that is not the case, okay? That we might be just completely wrong, okay? As we've been wrong about many things about science in the past, right? So just keep that in mind. I personally, it's a belief I have. Again, I'm not doing research in this area. I don't think dietary cholesterol is an issue. I don't think it's an issue at all. People who have, and the data does show us, people who have cholesterol issues tend to have that issue regardless of what their dietary cholesterol levels are. It's more related to total calorie intake. Okay, so if you don't have a cholesterol issue, well, whether you do or you don't, I don't think dietary cholesterol is going to make a difference in your cholesterol levels, in your cholesterol carrier numbers, okay? All right, I think I exhausted that. Okay, so for what my opinion is worth, which may not be very much, okay, that's what I know, and I will tell you personally, I don't have an issue with it. I have lots of cholesterol in my diet, probably higher than what's recommended. I know I get my cholesterol levels tested, and I'm fine. So, but I realize I'm just one person. Okay. Message of the day. Message of the day is you are a reflection of your recent past. Okay, you are a reflection of your recent past. I mean, ultimately, we are a reflection of our entire past. But when it comes to physically who you are just a reflection of what you've done. That's all it is. And this is why, when I talk about in the beginning, it has to be lifestyle based. You can't earn something when it comes to your physical health. You don't earn it and then you're able to walk away from it. It's something that has to be maintained over time. You don't ever really get to take a break, okay? Now, again, right, if something's going to be consistent, or if you want to be able to do something consistently, it needs to be reasonable, right? Again, coming back to a reasonable amount of calories, reasonable amount of exercise, but doing it on an ongoing basis, never stopping with that, okay? So you are a reflection of your recent past, all right? So if you do this challenge and you do really well, and then you turn around and you go back to your, quote, old lifestyle, you will just return back to what you were. Because that's just, the body's just reacting, or it's a reflection of what you apply to it essentially, okay? So keep that in mind. It has to be lifestyle based, all right? All right, that's it for today. Positive energy, positive vibes. As always, believe in yourself, and for the love of God, give some gratitude. I'll talk to you guys all very soon. See you guys.